Yo, good evening, USA, Canada, worldwide, Long Island, five spots of Brooklyn, Bronx, Manhattan, Staten Island, and Queens. I'm your man, G Money Stacks, aka the Gregonator, YouTuber, creator, host with the most, the unstoppable independent podcaster, and rookie podcaster of Queens, New York. And you're rocking with the 68th episode of Meticulous Vibe Juice Podcast, the review show. And we got a great one for you today. First and foremost, we're live and direct from StreamYard, YouTube, and alongside with myself is the Instagram live feed. If you if you are intending to watch, welcome and turn on your notifications on the gram so you don't miss me in action. And if you have any comments about the topics that we're about to review today, today's episode is going to be about movies and video games. So one in particular is Licorice Pizza, and the rest is going to be about some gaming news. So there you go. If you missed any episodes, any previous episodes, including the ones that's on this channel, with the same name, Meticulous Vibe Juice Podcast, don't worry, I got you back. Go ahead and subscribe to the YouTube channel page and tap that noni bell so you can be reminded when the show goes in the air via live stream. Leave a like and a comment. Stay tuned for more video content, upcoming episodes, previous latest episodes, and of course I will handle the rest of the streaming platforms and where you can listen to the episodes at the end of the show. So now as far as how I'm doing mentally, physically, and spiritually, I do apologize for delaying the episode. I had late dinner. That's why I kept delaying I kept shuffling and rescheduling the episode recording. So I do apologize for that one right there. So due to late dinners and stuff. So there you go right there. Now as far as how I'm doing mentally, physically, and spiritually, I am taking things one day at a time. Physically and spiritually, I am doing okay for the most part. This is just a warm up of the segment, of course, mental check-in, which I usually do that. So yeah. Now we could get to a little thing that I like to call the chillax movie man cave. No, excuse me, the chillax man cave popcorn lounge. All right. Let me just prepare this sound effect real quick. And today's episode we're gonna be reviewing a movie that I didn't really get a understanding why you would call a movie Licorice Pizza. You can't put candy on pizza, folks. I know what you're thinking. I know what you're thinking, man. You know what I'm saying? So let's get to it, man. Oh man, I know what you're thinking, folks. Okay, so Licorice Pizza is the 2021 American comedy drama film written and directed by Paul Thomas Anderson. It stars Elena Ham and Cooper Hoffman in their film debuts alongside an assembled supporting cast including Sean Penn, Tom Waits, Bradley Cooper, and Benny Safdie. Set in 1973, the film follows the development of a young couple's relationship. Yeah. Licorice Pizza was released in the United States and select theaters on November 26th, 2021, which was last year, and had wider release on December 25th, 2021, which was Christmas Day. The film received acclaim from critics and received 3 nominations at the 94th Academy Awards: Best Picture, Best Director, and Best Original Screenplay, making it Metro Goldwyn's Goldwyn Mayer's first fully produced, marketed, and distributed film to be nominated for the Best Picture Oscar in 33 years after 1988's winner Rain Man. It also received 3 awards from the National Board of Review, including Best Film, was named one of the best films of 2021 by the American Film Institute and received 4 nominations at the 79th Golden Globe Awards, including Best Motion Picture, Musical, or Comedy, along with 8 nominations at the 27th Critics' Choice Awards, including Best Picture, where it won Best Comedy. It also received 5 nominations at the 75th British Academy Award. No, excuse me, Academy Film Awards, where it won Best Original Screenplay. Now, the budget was $40 million. In the box office, it did $32.4 million. Now, I'm not sure. I'm not sure if this is if a movie goes past a a amount of money that's in the millions, whether it's low, medium, or high, um, it probably might have done good. So $32.4 million. That's crazy, man. Yeah. So um now as far as the music, I don't know if there's any music on here. So the music soundtrack to the rated R movie Licorice Pizza. Of course, Radiohead's Johnny Greenwood composed the film's score cues. The first trailer for the film, which was released online on September 27, 2021, was set to David Bowie's Life on Mars. The official soundtrack was released by Republic Records. Included are some of the songs featured in the film, as well as one of the original tracks composed by Greenwood. Of course, Nina Simone, July Tree, Stumbling In, Chris Norman, and Susie Quattro, um, Johnny Johnny Guarnieri. Guarnieri. Here we go. Guarnieri. Here we go. Sometimes I'm happy. Accent. Teach you 8 the positive. Bing Crosby and the Andrews Sisters featuring Vic Schoen and his orchestra. Blue Sands, Chico Hamilton Quintet featuring Buddy Collette, But You Are Mine, Sonny and Cher. My Dingling, oh wow. My Dingling, wow. Oh shit. Um, yeah, my Dingling. That's funny right there. All right, my Dingling. Chuck Berry featuring Steve Miller Band. Peace Frog, The Doors. Let Me Roll It. Paul McCartney and Wings. Life on Mars. David Bowie. Slip Away. Clarence Carter. Diamond Girl. Seals and Crofts. Not Crocs. Crofts. Greensleeves. Mason Williams. Barabaja Girl. Donovan with the Jeff Beck Group. Leslie Duncan, Susie Quattro, and Madeline Bell. Softly Whispering, I Love Roger Greenway. You? The Congregation. I can't believe this. No, hold on. Softly Whispering, I Love You. Oh, the Congregation. Oh gosh. Licorice Pizza by Johnny Greenwood. If You Could Read My Mind, Gordon Lightfoot. Walk Away, James Gang. Lisa, Listen to Me, Blood, Sweat, and Tears. Oh shit. And tomorrow may not be your day, Taj Mahal. Okay, we go to the reception. All right, so as of April 13th, 2022, Licorice Pizza has grossed $17.3 million in the United States and Canada and $15.1 million in other territories for a worldwide total of $32.4 million. Licorice Pizza opened in 4 theaters on November 26, 2021, including the Regency Village Theater in Los Angeles. It made $142,000 on its first day, $105,000 on its second day, and $89,000 on its third, for a $335,000 opening weekend and an average of 83,800 per screen. Audiences were reported to be 72% between the ages of 18 and 34, 68% male, and 70% Caucasian, 19% Latino and Hispanic, 8% Asian, and 3% Black. Close to 70% of all moviegoers were also college graduates. In its fifth weekend, the film expanded its release to 786 theaters and entered the box office top 10 for the first time with $1.9 million, finishing eighth. During the weekend, 66% of audience members were between the ages of 18 and 34. The film went on to earn $1.3 million in its sixth weekend, $981,886 in its seventh, $879,000 511 in its eighth, $659,953 in its ninth, $630,117 dollars in its tenth, and $644,699 in its 11th. Wow. The film received an expansion in theaters after earning 3 Academy Award nominations. It made $959,788 in its 12th weekend, finishing eighth before dropping out of the box office top 10 in its 13th weekend with $647,973. Critical response on the review aggregator website Rotten Tomatoes, 91% of 300 critics' reviews are positive, with an average rating of 8.4 out of 10. The website's consensus read: Licorice Pizza finds Paul Thomas Anderson shifting into a surprisingly comfortable gear and getting potentially star-making performances out of his fresh-faced leads. Metacritic, which uses a weighted average, assigned the film of a score of 90 out of 100 based on 55 critics, indicating universal acclaim. Audiences polled by PostTrack gave the film an 87% positive score, with 73% saying they would definitely recommend it. The film generated some controversy around the 10-year age gap between the main characters. And the fact that the male protagonist is a 15-year-old minor, as well as for its inclusion of 2 scenes in which the character Jerry using a demeaning mock Asian accent when speaking to his Japanese wives. Regarding the latter, director Anderson defended the scenes as being contemporaneous and accurate portrayals of the movie's time period. The Group Media Action Network for Asian Americans, however, called for an awards boycott for the movie due to the decision to include these 2 scenes without any pushback from the characters. Oh boy. Now as far as accolades, let's see. Okay. Did it get any accolades? Well, it did get some nominations, actually. As a matter of fact, it did get some nominations, and it did get some wins from different award organizations. So that's not bad at all. Um, so yeah, so there it is. So it is. So there it is, right there. Okay. Now that I got that out the way, we are going to go into a little thing that I like to call the for all you gamers out there, man. I'm actually doing some gaming news and stuff like that. But before I get into some gaming news, we are going to review the Gran Turismo games. So here we go. And this is the video game chamber. So let's do this, man. Okay, I'm pretty sure many of you gamers out there are probably familiar with Gran Turismo, right? Yes, that's the game that we are going to review today. So here we go. All right, so Gran Turismo is a series of racing simulation video games developed by Polyphony Digital. Developed by PlayStation Systems, Gran Turismo games are intended to emulate the appearance and performance of a large selection of vehicles, most of which are licensed reproductions of real world automobiles. Since the franchise debut in 1997, over 85 million units have been sold worldwide for PlayStation, PlayStation 2, PlayStation 3, PlayStation 4, and the PlayStation 5, and PlayStation Portable, making it the highest selling video game franchise under the PlayStation brand. Hang on 1 second. Let me get a sip of water. Stay with me, folks. All right, here's an overview. The Gran Turismo series is developed by Polyphony Digital and produced by Kaz- Kazunori Yamu, Yamuchi. Excuse me, Yamuchi. Yes, Gran Turismo can trace back its origins to 1992 when Kazunori Yam, Yamuchi set out with a group of seven to develop the original Gran Turismo, which took 5 years to complete. Um, the appeal of the Gran Turismo series is due significantly to its graphics. A large number of licensed vehicles, attention to vehicle detail, accurate driving physics, emulation, and the ability to tune performance. Hence the subtitle, The Real Driving Simulator, incorporated to the franchise iconography since Gran Turismo 4. Handling of the vehicles is modeled on real life driving impressions. Tuning is based on principles of physics, and the sound of the vehicle's engine is based on recordings of the actual vehicles. The game has been a flagship for the PlayStation console graphics capabilities and is often used to demonstrate the system's potential. Although Gran Turismo has an arcade mode, most gameplay derives from its simulation mode. Players start with a certain number of credits, usually 10,000, which are used to purchase vehicles from several manufacturer specific shops, or more likely um, at the beginning from used car dealers, and then tune their car at the appropriate parts store for best performance. Certain events are open only to particular types of vehicles in order to entered and progress through more difficult races, a licensed testing system has been implemented which guides players through skill development. Players may apply prize money won in events to upgrade their existing car or buy a new one, collecting a garage of vehicles. Um, since Gran Turismo 5 Prologue launched on the PS3, an online aspect of the gameplay has started to evolve. Um, GT5 Prologue has enabled users to race online with up to 16 players on track at once. Gran Turismo 4 for the PS2 was actually the first online enabled Gran Turismo game, but the online aspect of the game did not make it past better stage. Really? Really? It didn't make it? Wow. That's crazy, man. According to Yamuchi, the cars in the first two games were made from 300 polygons, while those in Gran Turismo 3 and 4 were made up of 4,000 polygons. And the premium cars in Gran Turismo 5 were made up of 500,000. Um, Standard cars are slightly more detailed versions of those in Gran Turismo 4. With the release of Gran Turismo Sport, it became the first game mainly focusing on online only racing, whereas offline is limited. However, Gran Turismo Sport provided post release content at no charge, including cars and tracks, along with offline events as well as bug fixes. The next game in development, Gran Turismo 7, was revealed at the 2020 PS5 Future of Gaming event on June 11th, 2020. The title was developed for PlayStation 4 and PlayStation 5 with a release date of March 4th, 2022. Gran Turismo 7 is the first title of the franchise to release on multiple consoles. Of course. Yes. So we'll get into it though, man. You know what I mean? All right, we're getting to the releases right here. So, all right, so Gran Turismo originally released as Gran Turismo, the real driving simulator in Japan and Europe, is a 1997 racing simulation video game developed by Polys Entertainment and published by Sony Computer Entertainment for the PlayStation video game console. Designed by Kazunori Yamuchi, the game's development group was later established as Polyphony Digital. It is the first title in the Gran Turismo series. Obviously, yes. After 5 years of development time, it was well received publicly and critically, shipping a total of 10.85 million copies worldwide, making it the best selling PlayStation game and scoring an average of 95% in game rankings aggregate, making it the highest rated racing game, racing video game at the time of the site's closure in 2019. Many publications have deemed it one of the greatest video games of all time. Yeah, I would agree with that right there. Yes. Um yeah. Let's see. Let me see. Where did I leave off? The game has started a series and has spawned over 10 spin-offs and sequels. Now we go over the gameplay. Of course, Gran Turismo is a racing game. The player must maneuver a car to compete against artificially intelligent drivers on various racetracks. The game uses two different models, arcade mode and simulation mode. In the arcade mode, the player can freely choose the courses and vehicles they wish to use. Winning races unlocks additional cars and courses. However, the simulation mode requires the player to earn different levels of driver's licenses in order to qualify for events and earn credits, which is money, trophies, and prize cars by winning race championships. Winning one particular championship also unlocks a video and a few additional demonstration tracks. Credits can be used to purchase additional vehicles and for parts and tuning. Gran Turismo features 140 cars and 11 racetracks. The two Honda NSX cars from 1992 were included in the Japanese version, but were removed from the North American and European versions. There is also a 1967 Chevrolet Corvette and a 1998 Mazda Roadster exclusive to the arcade mode. Um, okay, we go to the reception. Metacritic 96 out of 100. Publication, All Game gave it 5 stars. CVG gave it 9 out of 10. Edge gave it 10 out of 10. EGM gave it 9.33 out of 10. Game Pro gave it 5 stars. Game Revolution, an A. GameSpot, 8.6 out of 10. Hyper gave it 92%. IGN, 9.5 out of 10. Next Generation gave it 5 stars. OPM from the UK gave it 10 out of 10. OPM US gave it 5 stars as well. Entertainment Weekly gave it A minus. Spotlight Awards 1999 Best Simulation. Official UK PlayStation Magazine Perfect 10. Academy of Interactive Arts and Sciences Racing Game of the Year. Moby Games Game of the Year. All right, so Gran Turismo was a commercial hit in May 1998. Sony awarded Gran Turismo a double platinum prize for sales above 2 million units in Japan alone. According to Weekly Famitsu, Japan gave 1.34 million units of Gran Turismo during the first half of 1998 alone, which made it the country's second best selling game for the period. It was also a high seller in Australia, selling over 100,000 units in the first 2 months, and with sales exceeding 130,000 by October 1998. In the United States, it was the best-selling PlayStation game of 1998 with 1,431,483 sales and 58,568 and $520 dollars. Also equivalent to 97,371,061 in 2021 revenue. It was again the best-selling PlayStation game of 1999 in the United States, where it sold 1.3 million units and grossed an estimated $35 million, which is equivalent to $57 million in 2021 that year, adding up to 2,731,483 sales and about $62 million, equivalent to $103 million in 2021 revenue in the United States by 1999. It received a gold award from the Verband der Unterhalt Unterhaltung. So hold on. Unterhaltung software. Okay. Deutschland. Deutschland. Okay. In August 1988, for sales of at least 100,000 units across Germany, Austria, and Switzerland. It sold 270,000 units in the German market from January through September 1998, which made it the region's best-selling console game of the period across all systems. The VUD raised it to platinum status, and indicating 200,000 sales by November. At the 1999 Militia Festival in Cannes, um, it took home a platinum prize for revenues above 66 million or 75 million dollars, equivalent to the 120 million dollars in 2021 in the European Union during 1998. Hold on. Okay. What's up, Ant Man, aka the Puerto Rican King? Thank you for joining. And yeah, I'll hit you up after this recording. All right. This made it Europe's second highest grossing game of the year behind Tomb Raider 3. It began Europe's second highest grossing game of 1999 with 94 million. 94 no, hold on. $94.44 million or 100,658,000, equivalent to $164 million in 2021 gross that year. Adding up to over 160.444 million or 175 million $658,000, equivalent to the $292 million in 2021 grossed in Europe by 1999, and over $238 million, equivalent to the $396 million in 2021 across Europe and the United States by 1999. By March 1999, Gran Turismo has sold over 6 million units worldwide, of which 2 million were derived from the United States. By February 2000, it had sold 7 million units worldwide, for which it was awarded the Guinness World Record for best-selling driving simulator. By December 2000, it had sold more than 10 million copies worldwide, including 3.7 million units in the United States. As of April 2008, the game has shipped 2.55 million copies in Japan, 10,000 in the Southeast Asia, 4.3 million in Europe, and 3.9 million in North America, for a total of 10.85 million copies. It remains the best-selling video game for the PlayStation and the fourth highest-selling game in the Gran Turismo franchise, behind Gran Turismo 4, Gran Turismo 5, and Gran Turismo 3, a spec, respectively. So yeah. Let's see. Now we can go. I want to get to the rest of this stuff. So let's get to Gran Turismo 2, and I'll gladly reach 7. So just bear with me, folks. Okay, Gran Turismo 2 is the 1999 racing game developed by Polyphony Digital and published by Sony Computer Entertainment for the PlayStation. It is the sequel to Gran Turismo. It was well received critically and financially, shipping 1.71 million copies in Japan, 0.02 million in Southeast Asia, 3.96 million in North America, and 3.68 million in Europe, for a total of 9.37 million copies as of April 30th, 2008, and eventually becoming a Sony's greatest hits game. The title received an average of 93% in Metacritic's aggregate. Okay, gameplay. Gran Turismo 2 is a racing game. The player must maneuver an automobile to compete against artificially intelligent drivers on various racetracks. The game uses two different modes: arcade mode and simulation mode. In the arcade mode, the player can freely choose vehicles they wish to use and can enable damage, while the simulation mode requires the player to earn driver's licenses, pay for vehicles, and earn trophies in order to unlock new and returning courses. Gran Turismo 2 features nearly 650 automobiles and 27 racing tracks, including rally tracks. Compared with Gran Turismo, the gameplay, physics, and graphics are very similar. The only real noticeable difference in vehicle dynamics was the brakes, which became much less likely to lock up and cause the vehicle to oversteer. The major changes are the vastly expanded number of cars, tracks, and races in simulation mode. Other differences include that the player can race events separately if they do not want to enter the whole tournament. The player is no longer able to qualify for each race entered. All right, so reception, Metacritic, um, Metacritic gives it 93 out of 100. The publication of All Game gave it 4 stars. Edge gave it 9 out of 10. EGM 10 out of 10. Eurogamer 9 out of 10. Famitsu 34 out of 40. GamePro 5.5 stars. Game Revolution A minus. GameSpot 8.5 out of 10. IGN 9.8 out of 10. Next Generation 4 stars. IPM 5 stars. Upon release, Gran Turismo 2 sold 815,430 units in Japan during its first week on sale. In the United Kingdom, it sold 130,000 copies and grossed 4.3 million, or $6,506,000, which is equivalent to $10,200,000 in 2021 in its first weekend, surpassing The Legend of Zelda um, Ocarina of Time to become the UK's fastest selling title, and it sold about 250,000 copies in its first week. It was a bestseller for 2 months in Japan and the UK. In the United States, it sold more than 1 million units within 6 weeks and had sold 3 million units by early 2001. In total, it has sold 9.37 million copies worldwide. Official UK PlayStation magazine listed the game as the fourth best of all time. It received the Double Platinum Sales Award from the Entertainment and Leisure Software Publishers Association, indicating sales of at least 600,000 copies in the United Kingdom. Gran Turismo 2 received critical acclaim from review aggregator Metacritic. GameSpot rated it 8.5 out of 10, recommending it to any gamer, car enthusiast, or not, while IGN rated the game at 9.8 out of 10. In Japan, Famitsu gave it a score of 34 out of 40. Dan Egger of Next Generation rated 4 stars out of 5 and stated that the rushed production of this game botched what could have been a near perfect sequel. As it stands, Gran Turismo 2 is still the best racer ever made. Imagine what it could have been if Sony hadn't bungled the release. Gran Turismo was a finalist for the DICE Awards for 1999's Console Racing Game of the Year, which ultimately went to Star Wars Episode 1 Racer for Nintendo 64, Dreamcast, and Game Boy Color. Now we go to Gran Turismo 3. Yes, Gran Turismo 3, a spec, is a 2001 racing game, the first in the Gran Turismo series released for the PlayStation 2 during its demonstration at E3 2000 and E3 2001. The game's working title was Gran Turismo 2000. The game was a critical and commercial success, and went on to become one of the best-selling video games of all time. It has been listed as one of the greatest video games of all time. Yes, yes, I can actually agree with this. Yeah, and we go over the gameplay. The objective of the game is to win all the provided races, championships, complete licenses, tests, and achieve 100% game completion. Every 25% of the game completed results in the player being awarded a car as a special prize. For GT3, um, the Gran Turismo mode has a recognized layout with a more structured and progressive arrangement of races and challenges. Races vary from short beginner events to multi hour endurance races and also rallying events against an opponent. In addition to these modes, car shops are now organized by country and then by manufacturer. The arcade mode is recognized in stages. These stages are made up of 5 or 6 tracks pulled from all available tracks in the game, including both road and rally races. To get the next stage, all tracks on a stage must be completed on easy difficulty or higher. By beating the stage on normal or difficult, additional cars are unlocked as well for play in any mode of arcade mode. GT3 features 19 race courses, 14 of which have reverse variants, and 4 of which are dirt tracks. Most of these circuits are at fictional locations, but California's Laguna Seca Raceway and Cote de Azur, which is heavily based on the Monaco Grand Prix circuit, are not. Other changes include the omission of the ability to race modify or add downforce to production cars, removal of suspension damage, and the absence of torque limits for races. New to the franchise, GT3 also contained unlicensed versions of 6 actual Formula One cars labeled as F686 slash M, F687 slash S, F688 slash S, and F090 slash S, F094 slash H, and F094S. That the player could win from endurance races. In the Japanese and American versions, the name of each car denotes various pieces of information. For example, the aforementioned F094 slash S was the 10 cylinder 1984 season car driven by Ayrton Senna, whereas the F686 slash M represented the 6 cylinder 1986 season car driven by Nigel Mansell. In the PAL release, however, there were only 2 F1 cars, not obviously based on any real life counterparts, and instead labeled as polyphony 001 and 002, respectively. GT3 also marks informal appearances of automakers Lamborghini and Porsche. A racing G no, excuse me, JGTC Lamborghini Diablo was featured in the NTSCJ version, um, where the car has been cut from NTSCU copy and being available in NTSCU copy with a cheat device. And a Porsche 911 GT3 can be found in the game Cold. Both cars together with two hidden Lancia Stratuses, um, however, are completely absent in PAL version. Lamborghini would make its first official appearance in 2009's Gran Turismo for PlayStation Portable, while Porsche made its first official appearance in Gran Turismo Sport for the PlayStation 4. Um, yeah. So, so the game was developed by Kazunori Yamachu, who had developed the first two games. Hold on a second. Yamuchi collaborated with computer and game peripheral maker Logitech for the game, which resulted in the GT4 steering wheel. The wheel features force feedback and was designed specifically for GT3. A demo copy of the game under the working title was issued in the PlayStation Festival 2000, allowing players to drive a Mitsubishi Lancer Evolution 5 in the Seattle circuit for 120 seconds. The game was more or less a better version of GT3 named Gran Turismo 2000 that was renamed to GT3, a spec due to the fact the game was taking longer to make than planned. Compared to Gran Turismo 2, the graphics are greatly improved thanks to the PlayStation 2's hardware, but the number of cars has been drastically reduced in the game due to large work onto graphics, structure, detailed statistics of all the cars, and the game's release being early in the PlayStation 2's lifespan. About 180 cars are featured in this game rather than 650 in GT2. A giveaway launched at the release of the game included various prizes in North America. For example, there was a day at the Skip Barber Racing School, car payments for a month, and Gran Turismo themed shirt and hat up for giveaway. Okay, Gran Turismo concept, due to its critically acclaimed reception, a short version, Gran Turismo concept, was released in Japan and various parts of the world except North America in 2001 and 2002. It included new models unveiled during famous Asian European motor shows. Motor shows. Upon completing the game, the player was given a save game with all licenses completed and 10 million credits for Gran Turismo 3. Oh my gosh. So, all right, so as for the reception, so Metacritic gives it 95 out of 100. All game gives it 5.5 stars. Edge gives it 8 out of 10. EGM 10 out of 10, Eurogamer 10 out of 10, Famitsu 39 out of 40, Game Informer 9 out of 10, Game Pro 5 stars, Game Revolution B plus, GameSpot 9.4 out of 10, GameSpy 5.5 stars, GameZone 9.8 out of 10, IGN 9.8 out of 10. Next Generation 5 stars, OPM US 5 stars, the Cincinnati Enquirer 5 stars, Maximum 10 out of 10, And publication Game Critics Awards. Got an award for Best Racing Game of 2001. 6 Animation Kobe Awards. Um, got rewarded for Package Work Award. Um, Fifth Annual Interactive Achievement Award received the award for Console Racing Game. Gran Turismo 3, a spec, received universal acclaim like its predecessors, according to the review aggregator Metacritic. Reviewers lauded its graphics, realism, soundtrack, sound design, and controls. Frank O'Connor of Next Gen called it the best, most complete, and most impressive driving game so far, lapping its predecessors handily and the first must have for PlayStation 2. In Japan, Famitsu gave it a near perfect score of 39 out of 40. Of course, the sales. In Japan, the game sold 1 million units in its first 3 days of release. Let me see how much time I got here. Yeah, we should be good. In North America, it shipped 1 million units in its first day and became the fastest selling software launch in the region. By July 2006, it had sold 3.8 units and earned $120 million, equivalent to $184 million in 2021 in the US alone. Next Gen ranked it as the third highest selling game launched for the PlayStation 2, Xbox, or GameCube between January 2000 and July 2006 in that country. In the United Kingdom, the game received a double platinum sales award from the Entertainment and Leisure Software Publishers Association, indicating sales of at least 600,000 units in the UK. In Europe, the game $64 million, which is $57 million in 2001, adding up to at least more than $177 million, equivalent to $271 million in 2021, grossed in the United States by 2006 and in Europe in 2001. The game has sold over 8 million units worldwide by March 2002 and over 11 million by March 2003. As of April 30th, 2008, the game has shipped 1.89 million units in Japan, 7.4, excuse me, 7.14 rather million in North America, 5.85 million in Europe, and 10,000 in Southeast Asia for a total of 14.89 million copies. It is the highest selling game in the Gran Turismo franchise. It is a part of the PlayStation 2's greatest hits. It ranked 15th in the list of best-selling unbundled console games of all time, just below Y Fit Plus. Awards. Of course, GameSpot named it the fifth best console game of 2001 and presented it with a Best Driving Game award among console games. It was a runner-up in the Best PlayStation 2 game, Best Sound, and Best Graphics technical categories. The game won the award for console racing at the Academy of Interactive Arts and Sciences Fifth Annual Interactive Achievement Awards and was a runner-up for the Console Game of the Year award, which went to Halo Combat Evolved. Legacy: the game has appeared on some top 100 games lists, such as that by IGN in 2003. In 2004, readers of Retro Gamer voted Gran Turismo 2 97th top retro gamer, with the staff noting that the mix of realistic handling and superb graphics, not to mention that the fact that it features hundreds of licensed vehicles, has won it the admiration of car lovers everywhere. The gameplay may be a little too deep and difficult for many, but for its core followers, Gran Turismo is the be all and all of digital racing, and GT3 has been voted as the best of the bunch. Okay. All right, let's go to hold on a second. Let's go to Gran Turismo 4. All right, Gran Turismo 4 is the 2004 racing game for the PlayStation 2, the fourth installment in the main Gran Turismo series, and the sixth for the overall series. Hold on, let me get another sip of water. Stay with me. Mhm. All right. It was developed by Polyphony Digital and published by Sony Computer Entertainment. It was released on December 28th, 2004 in January, no, excuse me, in Japan and Hong Kong February 22nd, 2005. In North America and March 9th, 2005 in Europe and has since been reissued under Sony's Greatest Hits line. Yeah. Originally planned for a 2003 release, Gran Turismo 4 was delayed for over a year and a half by Polyphony Digital and had its online mode removed. The game features over 721 cars from 80 manufacturers and from as early as the 1886 Daimler Motor Carriage and as far into the future as concepts for 2022. The game also features 51 tracks, many of which are new or modified versions of old Gran Turismo tracks, with some notable real world additions. Gran Turismo 4 was well received critically and a commercial success, becoming one of the highest selling games of 2005 and the third best selling game on the PlayStation 2. The Chinese, Japanese, and South Korean releases of the game were bundled with a 212-page driving guide and lessons on the physics of racing. A limited edition Gran Turismo 4 online test version was released in Japan in summer 2006. A PSP enhanced port entitled Gran Turismo Mobile was originally planned. For development, but was later renamed to Gran Turismo, which was released October the 1st, 2009. The follow-up game to Gran Turismo 5 was released in 2010 for the PlayStation 3. Gameplay. Players accumulate points by winning races in the normal first-person driving mode called A-Spec mode. Each race event can yield up to a maximum of 200 A-Spec points. Generally, a win using a car with less of an advantage over the um over the AI opponents is worth more points. Um, Points can only be won once. So to win further points from a previous one event, it must be rewon using a car with less of an advantage over the AI. There are also the 34 missions, which can yield 250 points each. Despite this, A spec points are experience points, not money. The new B spec mode puts players in the place of a racing crew chief, telling the driver how aggressively to drive, when to pass, and mandating pit stops, of course, by monitoring tire wear and fuel level. The speed of the time in the race can be increased up to 3 times, allowing the endurance races to be completed in less time than would take in A-Spec mode. The 3-time feature, however, must be turned on after every pit stop because it resets to normal time. The game manual says that the player may speed up to B-Spec mode by up to 5 times. Um, but this is believed to be a typo. B-Spec points are given out for each race completed in B-Spec mode. This increases the skill level of the AI driver in the categories of vehicle skill, course skill, and battle skill. Players can thereby use B-Spec mode in harder races as the game progresses, but this mode cannot be used on wet, dirt, and snow courses. Another new addition to the game is the driving missions, which are similar in experience to the license test, but award successful completion with 250 A-Spec points and 1,000 or more credits. Each mission takes place with a given car on a given track or section of track and a given set of opponents. There are 4 sets of missions. The pass, in which the driver must overtake an opponent within a certain distance. A 3-lap battle, in which the driver must pass 5 opponents over the course of 3 laps. Slipstream battle, in which the driver must overtake identical opponents by way of drafting, and 1 lap magic, in which the driver starts with a significant time penalty against much slower opponents and must overtake them all in the space of a single lap. Completing each set of missions earns the player a prize car. There are a total of 5 prize cards available to be won. They are the DMC DeLorean Jay Leno tank car. Oh, yeah, yeah. Of course, Jay Leno, of course, the legend himself, talk show host and game show host of You Bet Your Life. He's also a car expert as well. Um, Pagani Zonda race car, Toyota 7, and the Nissan R89C. A new photo mode is included in the game, which allows the player to control a virtual camera, taking pictures of their cars on the track or at specific locations, including the Grand Canyon. This game is able to produce a selection of screenshots with variable compressions rate, which is normal, fine, super fine, and the size, and the user can choose to save or print to a supported USB device. Compared with Gran Turismo 3, a spec graphics are greatly improved with more detail on cars and tracks. Um, Despite running on the same PlayStation 2 hardware, the physics are also greatly improved. Um, with the major upgrade that cars now experience body movement, such as pitching, forwards and backwards rolling under braking. Barriers have considerably more friction to slow down the cars in GT4, but there is minimum friction between cars, so the advantage obtained by running into the side of another car is still present. Each of the driving missions and special conditions events give a 5-second penalty for hitting the walls or opponent's cars in this way, where the car's speed is restricted to 50 kilometers, which is 31 miles per hour, until the timer disappears when it reaches 0. The game features a futuristic concept car called the Nike One 2022, designed in collaboration with Nike. I'm not going to be able to get to that right there. So, yeah, I'm not going to be able to get to the alternate version. So let's go to the reception. All right, so Metacritic gives it 89 out of 100. Edge gives it 7 out of 10. Eurogamer gives it 8 out of 10. Famitsu 39 out of 40. Game Informer 9.25 out of 10. Game Pro 5.5 stars. Game Revolution B plus. GameSpot 8.9 out of 10. GameSpy 5.5 stars. Game Zone 9.7 out of 10. IGN 9.5 out of 10. OPM US 5 stars. Detroit Free Press 3 stars, and Maximum gives a 10 out of 10. And we go to the award and publication. Game Critics Awards. For of course, best racing game of 2003. Gran Turismo 4 received generally favorable reviews according to review aggregator Metacritic. Jeremy Clarkson, host of the Top Gear television program, performed a head-to-head test of real life versus GT4 on an episode of the program. He ran Mazda Raceway Laguna sector in real life and used an Acura NSX for a lap time of 1 minute and 57 seconds. But in the game, he used a Honda NSXR, which is lighter with a lap time of 141 and 148. So Clarkson also had to be shown by a race driving instructor where the line was between the game and reality. He pointed out that adjusting one's braking mid-turn in a real car could cause loss of control, and also mentioned that in the game he is compelled to take bigger risks than he would in real life. And in the game, the car did not suffer from brake fade, despite the apparent discrepancies. In a column for the Sunday Times, Clarkson gave the game a score of 3 stars out of 5 and had this to say about it. I called Sony and asked it to send me a game clip already loaded with the 700 computer cards, and I am in a position to test out its claims because, unlike most people, I really have driven almost all of them in real life. There are mistakes. The BMW M3 CSL, for instance, brakes much better on the road than it does on the screen, and there's no way a Peugeot 106 could outdrag a Fiat Punto off the line. But other than this, I'm struggling. They've even managed to accurately reflect the differences between a Mercedes SL600 and the Mercedes SL55, which is hard enough to do in real life. There's more, too. If you take a banked curve in the Bentley lay man's car flat out, you'll be fine. If you back off even a little bit, you lose the aerodynamic grip and end up spinning. That's how it is. This game would only be more real if a big spike shot out of the screen and skewed your head every time you crashed. In fact, that's the only real drawback, that you can hit the barriers hard without ever damaging you or your car. Maybe they are saving that for GT5. Perhaps it'll be called Death or Glory. Whoa. Death or Glory. Carl Brower of Edmunds.com performed a similar test also at Mazda Raceway Laguna sector, in which he and 2 others, professional race driver AJ Allmendinger and IGN gaming editor Justin Kabler set times in GT4 and real life in a variety of cars. Brower's best time in a Ford GT in the game was 1 minute and 38 seconds, and his best time on the real track was 1 minute and 52 seconds. Yes. In the four vehicles the trio tested, none was able to duplicate his game times on the real track. Brower suggested the main differences between the game and reality. Of course, he says, which brings up the single biggest difference between reality and virtual reality consequences. A mistake on Gran Turismo 4 cost me nothing more than a bad lap time. A mistake with a real exotic car on a real racetrack is a bit more costly. The other major difference between virtual racing and the real thing is feedback from the car or an almost total lack thereof. Yes, the force feedback steering wheel does its best to let you know where you are veering off the track or sliding the rear end, but none of this comes close to the kind of information you get while driving a real vehicle. And in a car like the Ford GT, that's vital information. Many reviewers criticize the game for its continued lack of rendered damage. Instead of actual damage, the cars simply bounce or spin off the car wall or obstacle. Reviewers complained of the continued ability to take unrealistic shortcuts, such as the ones on Fiji Speedway 90s, Driving Park Beginners Course, and Circuit de la Sorte um, 1, where the driver can cut across the chicane, allowing a player to win by cheating. One reviewer also complained that the game's vehicles do not have enough grip. The game has also been criticized for lack of online play, which had been promised during early development, but was announced as being removed at the time of release. Many reviewers expressed disappointment in the game's AI system, noting that virtual races will follow their driving line with little concern for where the human driver is at any one time. This is more evident during rally races and missions in which a 5 second speed penalty is given for hitting the other cars of the barriers, regardless of who initiated the contact. Some critics found B spec mode to offer little to the overall experience. Um so non-video game publications made some positive receptions too. Sean Cunningham of Maxim gave the game a perfect 10 and asked, "Is GT4 more fetish than game?" Probably, but if this is a fetish, then put a leather hood on us and whip us till we bleed. Oh shit. Jason Hill of Sydney Morning Herald gave it all 5 stars and stated that the game's biggest strength is the realistic handling. You feel every nuance of the car's movements, weight, shifts, and suspensions, particularly with driving Force Pro steering wheel. This is a peerless driving simulation that will test even professional drivers. Charles Harold of the New York Times gave it a positive review and stated that while the game aims for realism, it occasionally falls short. Competitors drive like mindless automations, seemingly unaware of your existence. Cars can take endless amounts of damage, allowing you to control your turns by bouncing off other cars like a pinball. If a track doesn't have walls like one set in the Grand Canyon, then an invisible barrier prevents you from going off track. However, Jim Schaefer of Detroit Free Press gave it three stars out of four and stated that GT mode does a great job of organizing your choices on a large home map. You can leave your garage to race or jump over to Ogo New and use rides at domestic and foreign dealerships take on special challenges and buy parts upgrades. As for the awards, yes, it received E3 2003 Game Critics Award Best Racing Game. IGN gives it fifth best PS2 game of all time. By February 2005, Gran Turismo 4 has sold more than 1 million units in Japan. By March 2005, Gran Turismo 4 had sold over 6 million units worldwide. Gran Turismo 4 received a double platinum sales award from the Entertainment and Leisure Software Publishers Association, indicating sales of at least 600,000 copies in the United Kingdom. It sold more than 611,000 units in the United Kingdom by December 2005. By March 2016, Gran Turismo 4 has shipped 1.27 million copies in Japan, 3.47 million in North America, 6.83 million in Europe, and 180,000 in Asia, for a total of 11.76 million copies. It is the third highest selling game in the Gran Turismo franchise, ahead of Gran Turismo, but behind Gran Turismo 5 and Gran Turismo 3 A-Spec. All right, so let's see. Let me see if I have time for I'm gonna do Gran Turismo 5 Prolong, and I'll do the other two Gran Turismos in a future episode. So this will be the last game I'm going to review, and I'm going to go into some gaming news. So here we go. Gran Turismo 5 Prolong is a 2007 racing game developed by Polyphony Digital and published by Sony Computer Entertainment for the PlayStation 3. Gran Turismo 5 Prolong is a precursor to Gran Turismo 5 in celebration of the series' 10th anniversary. And 10th anniversary. Yes, here we go. The game has sold 5.09 million copies worldwide, making it the second highest selling PlayStation 3 exclusive title after its successor Gran Turismo 5. Wait, this is Gran Turismo 5 Prolong, whatever that is. Hold on. Yeah, Gran Turismo 5 is a 20. Hold on, I'm going to get back to that. Gran Turismo 5 is a 2010 racing video game developed by Polyphony Digital and published by Sony Computer Entertainment. It was released for the PlayStation 3 on November 24th, 2010 in Europe and North America, and November 25th, 2010 in Japan and Australasia, and is the fifth main installment and the 10th overall in the Gran Turismo video game series. It was preceded by the Prolong version and is the first main entry of the series to be released for PlayStation 3. The game marks the first entry in the series with online races with support for up to 16 players. A damage model has been included with variations of damage depending on the car. Over 1,000 cars, 29 different locations, 77 different tracks, and a track generator are available in the game. Hold on. All right. Okay. Yes, dynamic time and weather effects make their debut in the series. World Rally Championship, NASCAR, and Super GT licenses are utilized for the first time in the Gran Turismo series. Gran Turismo 5 was well received critically and a commercial success, becoming the second best selling PlayStation 3 game, the best selling PlayStation 3 exclusive, and the second best selling game in the series with nearly 12 million copies sold. The game also won multiple awards and turned some players into real-life professional racing drivers with the GT Academy competition. Gran Turismo 5 is the first game in the franchise to provide a damage model with variations of damage depending on the car. The game also features weather effects, which are available on certain circuits. Optional stereoscopic 3D resolution and karting found a place in the game. Furthermore, new visual effects have been introduced during no excuse me including dynamic skid marks, dust, and the ability for drivers to flash their headlights. A course editor which allows the player to create new circuits by using tools that randomly generate track parts according to certain player selected specifications, including the number of corners, the time of day, and the number of sectors. There are a variety of themes the player can choose from to act as a base for each circuit design. Themes also have an effect on track length and highest elevation. The physics are significantly revised compared with Gran Turismo 4. Cars no longer instantly turn in, but realistically must load up the outside wheel first, and the stat the stabilizing effects have greater influence. Gran Turismo 5 is the first game in the franchise to include both mechanical and external damage modeling, including a real time deformation engine that processes model deformation according to the speed and angle of impact. It is also possible to overturn cars for the first time in the series. The cars in GT5 are separated into premium and standard vehicles. Premium vehicles are more detailed and include a fully detailed cockpit view, while standard vehicles are less detailed. Standard cars initially could not receive aftermarket wheels. However, as of the version 2.02 update, this is no longer the case. Gran Turismo 2 previously included damage, but was limited to mechanical failures only. Tracks. Gran Turismo 5 allows players to drive 31 different locations or scenery and 81 different track layouts. Um, Dunsfold Aerodrome, located in the United Kingdom, the test track of the British automotive television show Top Gear is included in the game. The playable demo of Gran Turismo 5 at Gamescom 2009 featured the Tokyo Route 246 track, seen in previous incarnations of the game. Various real-life circuits returned from previous games in the series. These include, among others, Nür- Nürburgring, Circuit de la Sarte, um, Tsukuba Circuit, Mazda Raceway, Laguna Sector, and Sakusa Circuit. New real life circuits included in the game include Indianapolis Motor Speedway, Monza Circuit, Daytona International Speedway, and two new Rome and Madrid city circuits. Many fictional circuits returned from previous games in the series, including Trial Mountain, the Forest Raceway, and Autumn Ring. An official list of all tracks available in the game has been released by Polyphony Digital. Of course, actually downloadable tracks. The track pack downloaded content includes Circuit D Spa on Francoeur Champs with weather change, the Kart Space 1 and 2. On January 17th, 2012, Polyphony Digital released the Speed Test Pack that includes special stage Route 9. In June, Twin Ring Motegi returned to the series as DLC after the 2012 GT Academy. Vehicles include Gran Turismo 5 provides a total of 1,089 cars. Ferrari, Lamborghini, and Bugatti make their first main release appearance in the franchise. New Gullwing Mercedes-Benz SLS AMG appeared, along with the Ferrari 458 um, Italia, and the Lexus LFA supercar. McLaren also made their first appearance as a native manufacturer with the inclusion of the McLaren F1 road car and F1 GTR race edition and the MP412C road car. It is the first main release in the series to feature licensed Formula One cars with the Ferrari F2007 and F10 included. Le Mans spec cars made a return appearance. Hybrid cars such as the Toyota Prius and the Honda Insight are included in the game. The series creator Kazunori Yamuchi mentioned that the latest hybrid and electric cars would be included, including the Tesla Roadster 2008 and the Mitsubishi I'm Mew. No, excuse me. I'm Mew. Um, at Gamescom 2010, it was also revealed that GT5 would include the Jaguar XJ13 race car prototype, as well as the Ferrari 330 P4 and the Ford Mark IV race cars. And as the developers put it, in quote, allow will allow players to create the race that never came to be, since the XJ13 program was canceled before the car was ready for competition. Additionally, in association with Red Bull Racing, the development team worked on a new prototype car called the X2010 prototype, which was designed with the idea of, if you built the fastest racing car on land, one that throws aside all rules and regulations, what would that car look like? Um how would it perform, and how would it feel to drive? This car was worked on by Polyphony Digital and Red Bull's aerodynamics expert Adrian Newey, and is one of the cars in the game. Up to 6 cars or 32 cars would be able to race on track at once, whereas previous installments allows only 6 cars per race max. Polyphony Digital released the official vehicle list, which also shows the vehicles were be standard or premium. The cars in GT5 are separated into 2 categories: premium and standard. Premium cars are highly detailed and thus have high polygon counts, high texture resolution, feature headlights capable of high and low beams, detailed inferior camera views, and detailed damage models. Premium cars also have working windshield wipers, which are operated on tracks with rain or snow. Standard cars have lower polygon counts and texture resolutions, standard headlights, and basic damage modeling. After the Spec 2.0 update, they features simplified um, interior camera views. For open top cars, they have a functioning steering wheel and working gauges. Around 25% of all cars in the game fall into the premium category. Classic cars are also a distinctive feature of GT5. Classics such as the Triumph Spitfire Mini Marcos and Alpha Romeo Spider have also been added. Alongside this, some commercial vehicles have unusually been added to the game. Vehicles such as Volkswagen Type 2 and the Volkswagen Swim Mag, no, Swim Wagon have been added to the game. Downloadable cars in the Spec 2.0 update. There is this number 71 Schultz Motorsport Nissan GTR, which Yamuchi drove in the 2011 24 hours of Nürburgring, and the new stock car designs of the 2011 NASCAR season. In the new racing car pack DLC, there are 14 new touring cars that are based on cars in the game, like the Honda CRZ and the Toyota Prius. Also, there is a newer version of the Red Bull X2010 called the X2011. On December 20th, 2011, Polyphony Digital released Car Pack 2, which features two new Volkswagen vehicles and Golf R and Sirocco R, and the new 2012 Nissan GTR Black Edition and the 2011 Mini Cooper S. On January 9th, 2012, PD has released a concept video for the upcoming Acura NSX for the North American International Auto Show. However, Kazunori did not state any information about the NXX's DLC release. The week after, Polyphony released Car Pack 3 together with the Speed Test Pack, which includes the Lamborghini Aventador, Aston Martin V12 Vantage, Nissan Leaf, oh shit, Mini Countryman, oh man, Volkswagen Beetle, okay, and a premium Jaguar XJR9. In June, a free DLC release added a new car, the Scion FRS, a variant model of the Toyota 86, and Scion's first vehicle to appear as a premium model. On September 25th, update 2.08 brought three new cars: the Honda Wheeler HSV 010 11 Super GT car, the Subaru BRS, another variant of the Toyota 86, the Nissan GTR N24 GT Academy 12 car, which participated in the 2012 24-hour Nürburgring on the 28th of November. The new 2014 Chevrolet Corvette C7 prototype was released as a free DLC. On January 15th, 2013, the Chevrolet Corvette C7 final prototype was released as another free DLC. Okay. Now we go to the reception. I didn't even know there's celebrities and stuff, so I'll get to that. Now we go to the reception. Aggregator Metacritic gives it 84 out of 100. OneUp.com A-, CVG 8 out of 10. Destructoid 10 out of 10. Edge 7 out of 10. Eurogamer 9 out of 10. Famitsu 37 out of 40. Game Informer 9 out of 10. GamePro 5.5 stars. Game Revolution A-, GameSpot 8.0 out of 10. Games Radar Plus 7 out of 10. Games TM 9 out of 10. Same goes with Game Trailers 9 out of 10. IGN 8.5 out of 10. Joystick 4 out of 5. Play 9.2 out of 10. And PM3 9.1 out of 10. Now we go to the accolades of the awards. Official PlayStation Magazine gave it a gold award. Game Pro Editor's Choice. Play Gamer Editor's Choice. PSX Extreme Best Sound Effects of the Year. Gamescom 2010 Best Console Game. Tokyo Game Show Feature Game Award. Play UK Magazine Technical Merit Editor's Choice. Game Trailers Best Racing Game. GameSpot Best Driving Game Reader's Choice. Game Revolution Best Racing Game. PlayStation Lifestyle Best Racing Game of 2010. PlayStation Universe Best Driving Game. PlayStation UK Obsession Confession. Golden Joystick Awards Best Racing Game. All right, so Gran Turismo 5 received generally favorable reviews according to review aggregator Metacritic. The driving physics of GT5 received high praise. Car and driver stated that its physics model is extremely realistic. The behavior of the cars is startlingly faithful to their real-life counterparts. So they respond accordingly to poor driving and when you miss critical braking and turn-in points. The Destroyed commented that turning and braking feel incredibly natural. You get a real sense of how slamming on the brakes throws the car's weight forward. Handling actually feels like car handling and not some once removed through a game control attempt. IGN declared that its handling model proudly restores Gran Turismo upon the driving throne. The number of cars, tracks, and features was praised. GamePro called it an amazingly deep racing game that offers an almost mind-boggling amount of racing challenges, cars, tracks, and features. Destructoid stated that the numbers that Sony and Polyphony Digital have been throwing at us don't even begin to cover how vast the game is. The game's GT mode has so many menus and sub-menus that it took me a full workday to completely go through them all. And that's not even counting a separate arcade mode, a track maker, a video collection, and much more. It's every bit of the racing world all in one place on one disc. So the word comprehensive doesn't even feel big enough. The inclusion of the track generator karts license, World Rally Championship, and NASCAR vehicles was also received positively as the new dynamic time and weather effects. Give me a second, folks. All right. The addition of online racing was positively received. The online races were credited for being smooth without any noticeable lag and for not showing any drop off in quality, as well as for providing fun racing. GamePro concluded that the superb online mode gives the game incredible longevity. The graphics received positive reviews, with reviewers praising the lighting effects as well as interior and exterior details of premium cars, stating that photo mode showed off their detailed graphical design very well. CG Magazine claimed that the detail of the game's tracks combined with the weather effects add up to some breathtaking driving experiences with sunset on the horizon and dirt being kicked up around your car, or raindrops hitting the windshield and cockpit view with uncanny realism. Destructoid commented positively on the lighting, weather, and particle effects, stating that watching snow blow onto and over the windshield was so lovely that it was almost distracting. The way nighttime fog soaks up headlights looks impossibly realistic. Streetlights shine on a glossy, wet road, and later raindrops streak by as you hit 200 miles per hour. In the desert, dust kicks up in a rally race. High beams catch the dust, with the tops of the surrounding trees barely lit by the setting sun. The detail of the standard cars were criticized as they lacked fully detailed cockpit views, looked like upscale versions taken from Gran Turismo, and did not keep up to the level of detail found in the premium models. Um, GT5 has been criticized for frame rate drops and screen tearing. The problems are most noticeable when many cars are on screen with rain or smoke visible. Um, the newly included damage feature received criticism for having limited effect on car performance. The AI was also criticized for still making CPU drivers break unexpectedly and not being aware of the player's car on the track, just as in previous games in the series. IGN called it the series now trademark zombie AI. Oh shit! Oh shit! That's crazy. Oh man, this the game's sound was praised. Arnold Katayu, reviewer of PSX Extreme, stated that Gran Turismo 5 actually sounds fantastic, having sampled a number of cars in the game that I either own, drive frequently, or have driven numerous times before. I verified how they all sound. My 350Z sounded pitch perfect as you started up upon selecting it. Same goes for my 370Z. It sounds spot on. Even a bunch of standard cars sounded good and sound even better with a few exhaust mods. While Tweak Town said that some cars just sounded flat when you feel they shouldn't, and others just sending a shiver up your spine as you hit redline. Gaming Reality awarded the sound 9 out of 10, stating that the sounds are clear, crisp, and distinct. The engine sounds are great and make you feel like the car is exactly near you. The engine sounds on premium cars change when you make adjustments to it, just like in real life. Of course, the sales in the UK, the chains Game Station and Game between them opened around 100 stores at midnight on the day of release so that customers could buy the game ahead of their normal 9 a.m. EB Games and JB Hi-Fi in Australia did the same thing. The game was the multi-format number one for the week, despite only having been on sale for 2 days. In Japan, Gran Turismo 5 debuted in the software chart at number one, and this helped PS3 console sales more than double for the week ending November 28th, 2010. As of March 2013, Gran Turismo 5 sold over 10 million units. For 13 days, 423,000 copies of the game were sold per day. Gran Turismo 5 was the best-selling video game for the PlayStation 3 until 2013, when it was beaten by Grand Theft Auto 5. The Gran Turismo series as a whole
has now totaled more than 65 million units so far worldwide and remains the highest selling PlayStation exclusive franchise of all time. According to Polyphony Digital, Gran Turismo 5 shifted 6.37 million units between its launch in November and the end of 2010. As of September 20, as of September 2012, Sony shipped 9.19 million units of Gran Turismo 5. Despite a late release in 2010, Gran Turismo 5 managed to become the seventh best selling PlayStation 3 title in the US, making the game the second best selling exclusive of the year. Gran Turismo 5 also became the best selling PlayStation 3 exclusive in Europe, including the UK. Sales have exceeded 10 million units. This was announced during the 15th anniversary event at Silverstone, held on May 15th, 2013. The game holds the record for the longest chart run for a racing game. Of course, obviously, the awards, obviously, it won Golden Joystick Award 2011 Best Racing Game. Game Revolution gave it the award for seventh best PS3 game of all time. And as for celebrity appearances, four-time NASCAR Cup champion Jeff Gordon appears in the game as a mentor to the player, guiding them in the skills of slipstreaming specific to the sport. Nine-time Rally World Champion Sebastian Loeb and four-time F1 World Champion Sebastian Vettel appear in similar roles in their portions of the game, providing advice and encouragement in a series of challenges. Other cars in the game are named after rally driver Tommy McCann. Drivers Carl Edwards and Kyle Busch, and personalities Shuichi Shigino and Jay Leno. Voiceovers were recorded by Justin Bell, Tony Jordan, and Robert Reed. One of the game's testers listed in the credits were Tomei Sports, Porsche racing driver Takashi Ohai. On September 5th, 2011, Martin Brundle and Jonathan Lagarde commented on a race between David Coulthard driving a real Mercedes-Benz SLS AMG around the Top Gear test track. And six leading Gran Turismo players racing on a console at Mercedes-Benz World. Coulthard won with Jason Burt trailing by half a second. Reggie Yates, Pollyanna Woodward, and Mike Bushell also took part in the race, but did not qualify for the leaderboard. Coulthard's lap was subsequently available to download for players to race against. In partnership of Alpine Stars, a downloadable pack released in October 2011 features replica helmets and overalls worn by drivers such as Tony Stewart, Jimmy Johnson, Peter Solberg, Miko Harvonen, and The Stig. In January 2013, Johnny Herbert mentored six players in a primetime ITV4 reality series, yes, with the aim of taking them to the Dubai 24-hour race as real drivers. Other countries in Europe had heats mentored by drivers Vitent, Antonio Lucy, and Sebastian Bumi. All right. All right. I think I'm gonna go over some new games that's gonna come out in July. All right, let's do this. List of games coming out in July. Hold on. Wait. Hold on. Yeah, forgot about that too. Um, let me see. All right. I want to go over some games that's coming out in July, so let's get to it. So, um, there's some games that's coming out in July, so I'm going to go over some games that's going to be for each game system. So, for July 1st, F1 22 for PlayStation 5, Xbox Series, X slash X X slash S, PlayStation 4, Xbox One, and PC. July 7th, Match Point Tennis Championship, PlayStation 5, Xbox Series X slash S, PlayStation 4, Xbox One, Switch, and PC. That's Nintendo Switch, folks. Um, Arc Arcade Yeah, Arcade Geddon. Um, July 8th, PlayStation 5, Xbox Series X slash S, PlayStation 4, Xbox One, PC. Um, Klonoa Fantasy Revere Series, PlayStation 5, Xbox Series X slash S, PlayStation 4, Xbox One, Switch, Nintendo Switch, PC, July 8th as well. Also coming out July 8th is Madison, PlayStation 5, Xbox Series, um, X slash S, PlayStation 4, Switch, PC, July 8th. Um, Time on Frog Time on Frog Island, PlayStation 5, Xbox Series X slash S, PlayStation 4, Xbox One, Switch, PC, July 12th. Loop Mancer for PC, July 13th. Eyes in the Dark, the Curious Case of One Victoria Bloom for PC, July 14th. Rune Factory 5 for PC, July 15th is when it's gonna come out. Um all right, so I'm gonna stop right there. I will actually go over the rest in tomorrow's episode. And I think that's gonna do it for episode 68. You like what you heard in today's episode, man. Please feel free to show some love by, as a matter of fact, let's go to this segment right here, man. Stream choices on the go, man. Let's go. You like what you heard in today's episode? Please feel free to show some love by following Meticulous Vibe Juice Podcast on Instagram, alongside with my other show, Excellent Fun Vibrant Podcast, the Sports Edition show, and of course, my number one show, which is doing well right now with 150. I just released episode 159 today. It's 159 episodes of Off the Meat Rack Chains New York podcast. Of course, you can follow me on the gram, which is G Money Stacks 555 in Queens, New York. Make sure you turn on your notifications so you don't miss me in action. If you have any comments on the Instagram live feed that you want to talk, that you want to voice your thoughts on the topics that we reviewed today or any other episodes whatsoever, you could jump into comment section on the gram and of course YouTube as well. So don't worry about that as well. And also, of course, you can make a charitable donation to my Cashapp, which is G Money Stacks 555. Doesn't matter what the amount of money it is. You could donate whatever amount you are comfortable with. It's all about doing the best you can, and whatever amount you decide to choose will be appreciated. So there you go, right there. And Also, before I even go to the streaming platforms on the go, I actually saw a flyer on Instagram somewhere, on the Instagram live on Instagram actually, and it's an event. I want to actually get to that. Let me go to the gram so I could actually get the information. Hang on a second. Um, hang on a second. All right. Okay. You. Hang on a second. So let me see. Yes. Yes. So there's a. Hold on a second, man. Okay. So there's this event called the Revolution of Hip Hop, which is from 1986, the Golden Era, which is on June 6th, which is June 28th, 2022 grand opening, which is from Tuesday to Saturday, um 12 p.m. to Saturday 7 p.m. as well. And on Sunday 1 p.m. to 6:30 p.m. The grand opening, the tickets is $20, and you could go follow uhhm.org. You can see the website for discounts and specials. Um and as they say on their captions, officially get to know your hip hop. Get your tickets now to the June 28th grand opening to the Revolution of Hip Hop exhibit, the Golden Era 1986 to 1990. You can visit our website to purchase your tickets in the link in bio. Tell a friend to another friend on 100. Spaces strictly limited. Tickets must be reserved in advance online, and proof of vaccination status or a negative COVID test within 24 hours of visit is required for entry. Wow. Wow. So yeah. So go ahead and get your tickets as quickly as possible. Don't wait till the last minute, man. You know what I'm saying? Um, and yeah, that's about it. You can make sure you follow UHH Museum on Instagram. Make sure you follow them for important events, updates of information, the tickets and stuff like that. You go to the link in bio on the gram right there. So there you go. Um, all right, so we're gonna go to a little thing. I had to actually get to where you can listen to the episodes and stuff. So by the way, you can leave a voice message on anchor.fm/gmoneystacks in the link in bio where it says linktree/meticulous vibe juice podcast. Of course, actually it's anchor.fm/meticulous vibe juice pod. So you can actually leave a voice message on there if you have any questions, any comments on the topics that we just reviewed today, the movie, the the games that we just went over, and the games that's coming out. I will have some more gaming news on the next episode, and of course some more reviews for you folks out there. And I'm going to keep you covered. So there you go, right there. And speaking of keeping you covered, this is where you can listen to the episodes starting with Anchor, um, Audible, Audacity, Amazon Music, Breaker, Castbox FM, Deezer, Listen Notes, Moon FM Podcast, Player FM Podcast, Podfriend, Podopolo, Podorama, Podcast Index, Podcast Addict, Podchaser, Podverse, Reason FM, Spotify, Stitcher, TuneIn Radio, Google Podcast. And don't forget to leave a 5-star rating on Podchaser, Podfriend, and Spotify. So that way you can tell me how I'm doing with the episodes and all that other stuff right there, man. Will be appreciated.
And don't forget to listen to Meticulous Vibe Juice podcast on Radio Public alongside with iHeartRadio, the number one app for music, radio, and podcasts. Make sure you follow Meticulous Vibe Juice podcast review show on iHeartRadio alongside with Excellent Fun Vibrant Podcast, Sports Edition show, and of course my number one show with 159 episodes is Off the Meat Rack Chains New York podcast. Make sure you follow that on iHeartRadio as well as the other audio streaming platforms that I just mentioned. And last but not least, the YouTube. Make sure you grab that subscribe button, tap that noti bell so you can be reminded when the show goes in the air via live stream. Leave a like and a comment. Stay tuned for more video content, upcoming episodes, previous episodes. Share the episodes, share the videos. Of course, tell a friend to another friend. And of course, make sure you actually share the podcast with your husbands, your wives, your boyfriends, your girlfriends, your friends, and the people that you're cool with in your career and your job as well. And of course, like I always say, don't forget to remember this. Actually, the grind does not stop. Hard work pays off, and you know what I'm saying. And for those of you out there trying to achieve your goals and dreams, make sure you don't let anybody stop you. And do something that makes you happy, mentally, physically, and spiritually. So, yeah, and that's gonna do it for me, man. I'm G Money Stacks. Thank you very much for listening and tuning in and rocking with me in the 68th episode. And I think I'll see y'all in the next episode, man. For real, for real. And I do apologize for not doing podcast free game mechanisms, the segment. I didn't have the time to do it. I will actually get to it for you folks out there that's interested in starting a podcast, and I got you with the typical equipment that you need and all that other stuff. I got y'all hopefully in the next episode. I got y'all, man. So listen, man, be careful out there, be safe out there. If you're going to any events like the Rock the Bells or any other type of events whatsoever, whether it's in Forest Hills, Queens, the Forest Hills Stadium or whatever, be careful out there. You know what I'm saying? Of course, enjoy yourself. And of course, yeah. And be safe out there. And yeah. Peace and one love. And of course, I hope you folks out there had a nice weekend. And I hope you enjoyed the rest of the day and have yourselves a good night.